Promoting terrorism is legalized all across the United States. This is no joke. And I'm going to share with you some resources so you can actually do your own research concerning these groups and their backgrounds. When you dig deep, you're going to find out that a lot of them have a past history of using social and economic sanctions to destroy people's lives. There's a PDF online called The Tutorialization of Public Space and Community Policing, Citizens on Patrol. And it clearly shows that this group uses harassment and mobbing. See, anytime you have movements like the whole community-based approach movement, where the Central Intelligence Agency and its partners, the U.S. Army, they have select members and groups that do like psychological warfare, can go and interfere in your life and harass you, along with other stakeholders, that is mobbing. So they operate like a hive mind as a group which is on a mission to fulfill some type of act, like a psychological operation. When you're gang stalked, what you're essentially experiencing is a psychological operation. And it requires a general from that U.S. Army base to allow these people to do this. So you may notice this in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, where you're documenting active duty U.S. Army from your 20s, 30s, and 40s. What's the use of that? What are your intentions? Why are members of the CIA being linked to this? Why are they going into schools, parking their car, walking up to someone and going, psst? Why are they using radical feminists, LGBT, and transgender, etc., to terrorize people? So there is a motive behind these actions they are doing in our schools. They're flagging people as terrorism threats. This is no joke. And just yesterday, I got an IP from a U.S. Army base in Charlottesville, I think North Carolina. And just a while ago, I recorded at the only tiki bar in this town, a man urinating in front of my family, people walking up to us and going, psst. Another guy going to his car and getting a gun. Another guy from American Legion there. They're directed by this guy that looks pretty clandestine, directing people that appear to be lower than him to do this stuff. So I started turning off my cell phone, and for the past few months, it's been a blessing, because this is the least that I've been harassed since I've been 19 years old, which is when I became a target of a U.S. Air Force investigation. Even after taking a polygraph test and allowing a search of my residence and passing every test, I still was harassed by people in the military. So if you really look at our system, you'll see that the federal government operates behind the scenes. Let me give you an example. We have the Police Chiefs Association. Well, if you look at any city or town, there's a police department, and the police chief runs that facility. So if you're getting reports and they're false, they're blacked out, it's typically because the police chief is allowing it. And the police chief is typically tied to the the Police Chiefs Association, which is funded by the Citizens Corps programs and Department of Justice, I believe. I know it's tied to the Citizens Corps programs. And then you have your Sheriff's Department. They run the Citizens on Patrol, and they receive DOJ funds. So DOJ knows about this. They protect the cops when they're sued. So they're allowing this. And then we have Department of Homeland Security's, like FEMA, which is helping to manage the Citizens Corps programs, and HHS. So they've made this about safety, but is it really about safety? When you have people that can go to your city commissioner, which is in charge of like community policing, and get a bunch of stakeholders involved. That actually happened in Texas. So this movement is about slandering people, labeling them as a safety threat or a terrorism threat, but somehow trying to put it as they're a problem and slandering them, and then trying to create anger and secretly working to promote violence. Let me give you an example of what was documented in two different stores. One is a Target store. Another one is a business. I'm not going to mention the guy's name because he's a friend. The people would come in and barely open their mouth and go, psst. So they want to play this game as if, let me give you an example. They want to play this game where like, you look like you're the violent person and you snapped on them for no reason. So they want to make you look like you're ill. And what they'll do is they'll park their car next to you and then walk into a place, not look at anything, and just confront you and do something and then suddenly walk out. They want to do what's called NLP, street theater, gang stalking. They try to sensitize the person to stimuli. And this is no joke, fellow TIs. Here in the state of Florida, there are stand your ground laws. It's my word against theirs. So if I really wanted to stop some of these people from doing this, there's nothing to stop me. There's no incentive for me there's just no incentive for me not doing anything. At my age, 26 years of harassment. But I've kept my faith in the Lord, and I've been walking away from this threat for 26 years, and I've never laid a finger on them. But technically, it doesn't matter what agency they belong to, what a federal agency. You don't have the right to threaten people's safety. If I don't know who you are, and you're harassing me while eating everywhere I'm going, and you're following me, then I perceive you to be a threat to my safety and to those around me. That's just how I think. So these people, what they do is they essentially promote terrorism, and they use people like human sacrifices. The people that are doing this, they already know without a shadow of a doubt, some of these Masons they use, and secret society members, they already know that they could potentially get themselves shot. So some people are doing this for prestige, to get more money and more rank in certain social groups. So one thing I'm looking at doing is leaving this country. I encourage targeted individuals to don't waste your life trying to sue these people or get even. I mean, if you're going to sue. But don't spend 10, 20 years trying to sue these people. Like some TIs that I know, they've been battling out, trying to figure out how they can win. If you can't do it yourself, look at getting a Federal Tort Claims Act attorney. Most of them don't need your money, they'll just do it based on a contingency fee. That's why a lot of TIs have a hard time suing. So anyways, they promote terrorism, they're doing this nationwide, it's legal, and when you try to sue or try to get police involved, they tell you it's a civil matter. So now people can legally facilitate mass shootings in our communities, and police will tell you it's a civil matter. And in many cases, they'll write a false report and black out the report, so they're complicit in many cases to this activity. Not all cops support this. The majority of cops and sheriffs are good people, but this activity is legalized nationwide. And when you look at the papers that I have, the names of people, 25 years of law enforcement, some of these guys, and they clearly tell you these activities are typically done, they've been noted as activities that have caused mass shootings. So just to make a long story short, I've hired subject matter experts, and you can find them online. A lot of them are eligible to speak in courtrooms. Yes, you're going to have to rake out some money, but it's worth it, because when is the last time you heard about someone paying for this on a federal agency? I haven't. So I went ahead and did that. Because if they're doing that towards me, I figured why not do it towards them? Because if I'm asking for help and being denied, I need to know who the terrorism threat is, who the threat is, and why they're doing this, and what do their actions lead to. Anyways, God bless. Stay strong. Peace.